Hello everybody, my name is Zen and welcome back to our 101 series of guides for Heroes of the Storm. In this guide we will be discussing proper multiplayer etiquette and how to deal with toxic players. Before we dive in, there's a few things that you need to know about. The first is that you can mute individual players while in the game by hitting tab and clicking the mute button next to the person that you want to mute. From then on, you won't see messages from that player during that game. Second, once a game is finished, you can report individual players by going to the stats page and selecting report from the drop-down menu. Finally, you can completely turn off in-game chat if you want to by going to your options menu. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what etiquette you should be using while in game and how to deal with toxic players. The golden rule is that you should always be a pleasant person. When you first load into the game, it's a common courtesy just to throw out a friendly good luck, have fun. Oftentimes this will start your game out on a good note that will continue throughout the rest of the game. Additionally, if your team makes a good play, it's a good idea to tell them that they did a good job. This will help boost the morale of the team and will help you win more. In Hero League, it's always nice to start off the draft by saying hi to your teammates and being diplomatic with who you will play as. For example, don't say that you're gonna play as Nova no matter what is picked. That's not a good way to start. Be flexible and you'll find yourself winning many more games. A small tip here to being flexible would be to learn about 3 characters of each of the roles really well, so like 3 assassins, 3 warriors, 3 supports, and 3 specialists. Once you're in a game, if anyone starts being toxic by constantly complaining or throwing out childish name calling, just mute them. How easy is that? Now you don't have to listen to that person and you could just be focused on having fun and playing well. If someone starts complaining about your gameplay, give it a thought for a second. Are you actually playing bad? Are their criticisms valid? Maybe they aren't trying to be mean at all, but you're just perceiving it that way since you're well aware that you played bad. And that's okay. It's completely okay to be self-reflective and realize that, you know what? Hey, I made a really bad mistake there and I'm playing bad this game. And if people are directing complaints your way, even if they are mean, it's often really easy to neutralize the entire situation by just saying, you're absolutely right, that was terrible, I don't know what I was thinking. Don't worry, I'm gonna try and bounce back for the rest of the game. And then, just leave it at that. If they continue to harass you, there's always the mute button. But maybe you feel like you're losing because one of your teammates is making huge mistakes. Refer back to the golden rule. Is someone being extremely rude to you and you feel like you should defend yourself? Refer back to the golden rule. You should always try to be as pleasant as you possibly can. Now, listen, this doesn't mean that you can't be angry about losing or even being bothered by someone harassing you. You're a human being, you have feelings, it's okay to be upset. However, it's never okay to direct your anger or frustration at someone else, even if they started it. But it is perfectly okay to let someone know that they're making you angry or frustrating you. However, it seriously almost never changes anything to do that. It's best to just kind of keep it to yourself, refer back to the golden rule, and always be pleasant. Also, don't ever bury your anger or frustration, because it'll likely just make things worse in the future. Instead, just shrug it off. Is something that someone is saying or doing getting to you? Don't let it. Seriously, I know it's hard to do sometimes, but the likelihood of you ever playing with that person again is fairly low. Just let it go. But how about this? Do you ever feel yourself getting excessively angry or frustrated? Well then just turn the game off. Like, finish the game you're in and turn the game off. It's not that hard. Go do something else. Seriously, this isn't a joke. If you're playing angry, you're just gonna lose faster. Go do something completely different for several hours and maybe consider coming back afterwards. It's not that hard. I mean, if you're gonna be playing angry, most of the time you're gonna be sitting there typing angry. And at that point, you're no longer playing the game, you're playing Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing. Finally, if another player is being excessively rude or uncooperative, or in rare scenarios threatens your life or the life of another person, report them. It's a serious matter that needs to be dealt with. To summarize this guide, I would say it's fairly simple. Most of the players that you come across will be incredibly pleasant. However, when you do come across a toxic player, the best thing you could do is just listen to their criticism. Is there any truth to it? then learn from it and move on. If the person continues to be toxic, just mute them. It's that easy. If you ever find yourself getting into arguments every single game, just turn your chat off. You'd be surprised how much more you will enjoy the game at that point. All of this, though, can be avoided by simply keeping the golden rule in mind and just being a pleasant person. Try to keep your actions per minute higher than your words per minute, and you will tend to win a lot more games. At the end of the day, though, almost all of this social anxiety and issues can be completely avoided by just playing with 4 other of your friends. And this is the way that I suggest playing Heroes of the Storm. It's the way that I enjoy it the most. If you have any questions, though, leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. But with that being said, we shall see you guys next time.